Welcome to the Intentional Awakening Podcast with your hosts, Kathy Brewer and Terry Huberman.
Well, hello there, and welcome to the Intentional Awakening Podcast. I'm Terry Huberman.
And I'm your co-host, Kathy Groover, and we're going to start this episode, as we do every episode, with an angel card. And yes,
right.
We may have had this one pop up before, but healing. Let go of the woundedness that separates you from your wholeness and restore the balance of your true nature. And I think we did do this one before because there's an angel and a little cast with the other one, like,
oh yeah, that's okay.
it.
I mean, that's what we're supposed to be doing. I mean, if we're genuinely listening to the universe, this is
Yep.
what the universe wants us to know.
Yep. So we have a very interesting topic today, and this is not talked about a lot. You often hear about this during certain psychedelic journeys, but it's called ego dissolution, where this sense of I, this ego identification with this being human sort of fades away and drops away. And it can be really disturbing for people. And it can be very off balancing and off centering kind of thing. But ultimately, it can be a very healing experience, going back to our angel card. So, Terry, do you want to give us a sort of a rundown on your take on ego dissolution?
I feel like it's a blending with God. There's a detachment from your humanity, but it's not like it's not like a mental, I mean, I guess it could be a mental health issue if you're there all the time, but what it feels like is kind of like a disassociation in a way. It's like I'm not here, I am all over.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like to me. So to me, it feels really good. Like I really like it. Now, if we're going to look at it as a disassociation, it could also be used as a coping skill and a coping mechanism from trauma, right?
Yeah.
But if we're going to look at it from a spiritual aspect, it is just like all all is one. It's like you get that sensation or that feeling, or even I would say it's a consciousness, which is an awareness that everything is one.
Yep. I agree with you. I'm looking for some notes I took on something the other day, which has to do with this.
So it's like I'm not Terry. I'm Kathy and Jim and Bob, and I'm everything, not even everyone, everything.
Yep. I love the way you just defined that, because I think that's absolutely, I mean, that's sort of the textbook definition. If we look at what the sort of dictionary says, ego dissolution or ego death is the temporary loss of subjective self-identity, narrative memory, or bodily boundaries, often triggered by psychedelics or deep meditation. It can result in a profound mystical sense of unity with the universe or lead to feelings of frightening dissociation.
Yeah.
So that's, talking about the brain, that's when the default mode network, which governs the thoughts about self-reference, kind of turns off. And we get this feeling of connectivity and oneness. And when I did ketamine for the first time, and I actually went to a clinic, I wasn't like, K-holing at some party. I had this ego dissolution. And it was so interesting because I knew there was a Kathy, but I didn't know what a Kathy was.
Right.
Like I knew the word. It's like when someone says a word, you're like, oh God, what is that? And our clinic is on a street called Milpas, and there's a roundabout at the end. And I knew there was this thing called a Milpas, and I saw this like weird circle but I didn't know what a Milpas was. It was so fascinating because I just simply didn't have any conscious recognition of what those things were. It just was one vast thing, all of it. It
like
was really interesting.
It's like you don't have an anchoring to what a milpus is, but there's an awareness of it.
Yep. And I still can't find the notes I was looking for.
I feel like a lot of people can reach it if they give themselves the opportunity to. Now, I've only been really able to get to those points when I was doing like a Dr. Joe seminar, because he's just magic. And then when you're in a room with 1,000 other souls who are it's like, again, it's an energy amplification.
Yep.
Because it is energetic. It's like you're not in physical reality anymore. So you're not bound by time, bound by a body, bound by who you think you are. It's really this boundaryless place. I don't know if people could just, maybe they can. I just don't know. I mean, I'm literally coming from a place of I don't know if people can just sit there, go blink, and it happens. I mean, maybe if you're Mother Teresa or the Buddha
or something like that. Yeah. I don't think that's the way it works. And I think that's why people turn to things like psychedelic and really deep meditation and breath work to assist that in happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have had, so this is why psychedelics are so great with things like PTSD, because you can pull yourself out of that identification with self and talk about the sexual assault, the battlefield horrors. You could talk about all these things without them being a part of you. It's a part of you, but they're like,
it's like out there. It's not
out there someplace. Yeah, there's this separation of space and time between those things. So that's why that's a tool is so great for helping heal past trauma.
Yeah.
Because you're watching it, but you're not really experiencing it anymore. So it's really fascinating.
It's the attachment. It still comes down to attachment. What boundaries are we attached to or it's a really bizarre experience though, because when my eyes were crying. I didn't feel like I was sobbing, but like my eyes were crying. I felt, for me, what it felt like was just this unconditional love. Just like I don't even have human words for what it felt like, which is a really beautiful thing. But I do get frustrated that I can't, like when I want to and or need to, because humanity is just too much.
Yeah.
Well, there are different levels, of detachment, but to get to that place of the ego disillusion, it pisses me off that I just can't go or, twinkle my nose or in this lifetime, maybe next lifetime, who knows?
Ooh, the nose twinkling thing, that would be fun. Yeah, it's one of those, that idea of attachment, and also this idea of duality, this idea that we are separate, and that kind of goes away. You just become one with everything. And what's so interesting is when I started doing my awakening work and started studying Buddhism and doing psychedelics, and let's just type A, let's just pile all the things on. Get there quicker. It's not how that works, by the way. I didn't know what non-duality was going to feel like, because I had it, because no one can explain what it feels like, right? So I didn't know if I would feel, they quote, you feel one with everything. And I'm like, well, what does that
mean
feel like? So I'm one with this phone and I'm one with this pet. What does that feel like?
What does that mean?
And I recognized as I explored that more and more, and I had the duality kind of cease a little bit. I'm not fully in non-duality, but I'm working on it. It's not that the boundaries are so fluid that I'm moving through solid objects. Right. What it is you recognize that everything is interdependent on each other. That if it wasn't for the sun, the earth, the air, that nothing would exist. And so we're all basically born of the same material. Even the desk and the chair and the purse and the earbuds and the iced tea it's all born of the same things. And so we recognize that we are one in that way. And what I just did I'm doing this big YouTube push for all these videos, and I was doing a speaking one, and I reminded people, if you're the speaker, what you do to one, you do to all. If you walk down in the audience and you high five three people, you've high fived all 1,500. If you make fun of one of the people in the audience or make them feel stupid or dumb, you've just done that to the entire audience. That's the non-duality. That's the one and all kind of thing, all for one and one for all. That's what that non-duality is. And that's how you feel when you have that ego dissolution. You just recognize that we are all one thing, that there is no separation between Terrie and I. There is no separation between all of you listening or watching. We are all one thing. And when we start to realize that, the compassion goes up, and you don't want to take advantage of people, and you don't want to be greedy. You want to be able to share your wealth, your knowledge, your food with people, because you recognize that they are part of you. What a world it would be.
Yeah. Although it's interesting because as you're talking about that, I'm like, let's play devil's advocate here for a minute and let's talk about empaths and how does that affect being an empath? Because with empath or being an empath, we actually need to set boundaries because we are taking on too much of others. But there is a difference because it's not like you're necessarily taking on everything. There is a level of discernment, I think, even within empathism. Is that a word? Empathism? Well, empathicness, whatever, because it could be based on environment. Like if you're in a supermarket with a ton of other people, you're not taking on everything all as one. It's just, okay, I'm sensing this person is this way, I'm this way, and now I'm mad. There's just it's just, oh, we could go on and on with this. Holy. So do you think being an empath might be a level of ego dissolution? Maybe, kind of? Or is it actually ego?
I don't, that's a great question.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ego dissolution, because it's not that we don't identify with who we are. It's that we're open to feeling other people's things. So I think it's more of the non-duality, right? Because I mean, I've had that since I was a kid. I could feel people's feelings. I could feel their thoughts. We had a new student in Silk's class on Friday, and he was very quiet and very reserved. And my husband, Eric, is the teacher. And he said, this is when it's so hard to, like, he's not saying much. Is he having a good time? And I said, well, this is where, like, detecting energy really comes in handy. And he said, what did you get? And I did this whole diagnostic of what I could feel coming off this guy. Now, whether it was true or not, I don't know. But that's part of that non-duality, right? I could feel what his energy was shifting. We had friends for dinner last night, and I was watching the dynamic energy change between them. To me, that's part of the non-duality. I'm recognizing that we're sharing this energy, we're sharing this space. And if you are still for a moment and try to detect it, or skilled to detect it, you can.
Yeah, I mean, again, this just comes down to, like I said in the previous episode, like the more I study and learn, the less I know, because I understand how energy works. So I think there are different levels of truth within a big, so is maybe being an empath a level of truth of, like, not to like how we're necessarily defining it, right? Could it be a definition that hasn't been identified yet or whatever, because of the different levels of truth and the way energy works. And all of a sudden I'm like, I wonder.
Well, and then let's throw in
all day.
Let's throw in a different level, right? You and I can both detect spirits. I can see ghosts. I can talk to spirits. I'm very psychic in that way. I don't do it the way you do. You're freaking pro. But it's like I've had that as a natural thing since I was born. Is that another, like, unpeeling of that onion?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is like, because I teach my clients about levels of truth so that we can and life, which helps us accept, right, how other people are and how we are, and so we can set boundaries, especially as very highly sensitive, energetic humans. So it's like there's got to be levels within a whole, we just don't know about it. Like, that's the whole idea of dimension and dimension hopping. And that's why we can timeline jump. And I don't know, this stuff is so fascinating.
How our ring can magically put diamonds back,
Yeah.
Still haven't figured that one out.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Wow, this has been so fascinating. We could go on for hours because we're sort of discovering it as we talk about it. Who knows what discoveries we're making that is going to help humanity just by having these conversations.
We're helping humanity right now.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, we are. All right. If you'd like us to help you further, I'm Kathy Groover. You can find me at kathygroover.coach.
And you can find me at terriehuberman.com. Thank you so much for joining us in this episode of the Intentional Awakening podcast. We'll see you soon.
See ya.